see what happens. Ah, it sucks. 2 seconds. All right. See if we can get this to begin. Hi everyone, Ian Iliona here. Another another day in Los Angeles, it would appear, because here I am in Portland, and my key didn't function, so I have to call security and have security let me into my room. And of course, they ask for identification, and of course, I give my passport because I don't do state ID. And I'm an international person, so why wouldn't I use that? Either way, it just rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way because it's like the second time an incident has happened, and some random white person is like, "Can I take a photo of it?" And it's like, "Could you look it up and see if I'm on the list of people who are staying here?" It's like, why do you need a photo of it? Because it's almost like you could take my photo and then you can do anything with it, which just doesn't sit well with me. Neither here nor there. I am back inside. It was cold out there, but I don't have a problem with the cold. I have a problem with being locked out of my room so I can be once again put in a situation that always feels artificial, but most likely it is harassment. Because here I am in my nice outfit, and it's just, I'm not like a bondage king or whatever, or into too many of like the kink scenes or anything. I'm just a person who says, you know what? I feel beautiful. I am a beautiful person. Let me celebrate that by myself. Some people, they want the attention for it and they just want to do whatever. Sometimes it's just, can I look at myself and just be happy looking at myself instead of constantly saying, I am, I'm that disabled veteran. It's like, no, I'm that disabled veteran who's super healthy and super cool. Like, why not just be me for a bit? And I thought that I could do that walking out the door at this hour of the night. And instead of just a quick, you walk out and then you come back in, it's now I gotta get security, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And come on, famous people have to do that. I'm literally just a disabled person. That's all. Hi, William Brian Morrison. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the revolution. I'm Ian Iliona. I am an environmentalist, human rights activist. I'm a mutant. And yeah, this was a rough start of the day. And I have to admit, no, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Like, the guy wasn't my personal security guard, but I felt somewhat safer. Not like a ton safer, just a little bit safer going about, because I swear, just as I'm trying to get back into my room, I have some biker that reminded me so much of Casey from the Ninja Turtles that, you're right, love. Okay, you okay, boy? All right. Just have to check on him. Thank you, Magic. How you doing, girl? Lord, why did you? Why would you do that? Hold on. You see, this is what worries me about America. You live in a country where Some things, not even your dogs, are out of control. Well, I mean, out of government control. Like, I don't know what just possessed my service animal to bite my other one, but it just goes to show, you can try and train these wonderful, beautiful creatures as service animals and give them jobs. They're still animals. Are you alright, boy? Oh my god. Like, I don't know what goes on with that. But anyway, as I was saying, so I didn't feel like I was supposed to be as scared as I normally do because just as I was walking to my room being escorted by security, two women come into the hallway with their stroller. And of course, they're just cooing and making noise and bothering me, but it felt a little easier. It felt a little easier. It's something to think about. It's just I can't afford it, and if I led a life that really needed me to do that, then I'm probably doing something wrong. People who need security are often famous people. Famous people need security. I'm a scientist. I'm a medicine man. I'm a werewolf. I'm a mutant. I'm many things. I'm not famous. Just a person who apparently talks to dogs. And that was on YouTube. I just don't know what possessed my dog to do that. I mean, I guess if you listen into the background, because I've always wanted an opportunity to have a recording of when my dog acts like that, like she's getting instructions from the government, that it would be on something like YouTube where someone could analyze the audio and just see what that noise was and maybe even what direction it came from and maybe how far away. But that's not the first time that's happened, and I don't think it's behavior because these two love each other. Like they sleep next to each other, they love each other. But every once in a while that happens, and I kind of wonder. Hmm. Also, I mean, I want to make sure he's okay. I mean, look how sad he is. That's you see that face. You see that face. That's the face I feel when I try to go about my life and just not interact with women. Just say, you know what, I've already been sexually assaulted and sexually abused by women. How about we just go our separate ways? Hi, Ninja Fizz. Why do I keep seeing you, bro? I think you're getting popular. The day that I become popular is the day that the United Nations has to admit that we're mutating, we're evolving. There's articles coming about that say people are lonely. People aren't forming relationships. People aren't dating anymore. That could be seen as, well, we're all overworked, we're stressed, none of us hit the gym anymore. I think it's no, we're evolving to that next step. We're evolving into a bunch of people who fuck machines. Yeah, yeah. I said it in a post, but I love to take any opportunity to get on camera to tell people the truth of what your future looks like as a species. So you're dating your refrigerator. The way that your eyes light up when there's food, the way that your heart skips a beat when the microwave goes beep 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 beep, and you know that your food's about to come out, you're in love. You're in love. The same chemicals that you would have, you're in love. And then there's the television. You're in love with that. You're in love with television. You see celebrities, you see actors on a screen, see them in peril, you see them in other relationships. You're jealous. You're jealous of a bunch of pixels. You're not gonna date because you have those pixels. People write entire fan fiction. Some people have gone as far as to write albums dedicated to one particular hunky firefighter. But I don't know. I mean, you really have to be in love for something like that to happen. Buck. And then there's the cell phones themselves. People loves their cell phones, especially guys. Like, never borrow a cell phone from a guy. Guaranteed, your hands will come out sticky. There's more DNA on a cell phone than on the faces of women who hold cell phones. That should tell you everything you need to know about where we go from here. I say we have to embrace the change. There's a lot of things going on, and people are scared. I mean, look, I'm scared. I'm on the West Coast, and I said it before. I travel to a war zone. Portland is a war zone for ICE right now, and if you have a fancy fucking way of speaking, it sets people on edge, especially people who consider themselves true patriots, but really they're just racist. And look, I'm racist. I'll admit it. Can you? Either way, would it be that horrible to just go all in, have a robot husband, have a robot wife, have an AI that cooks your meals for you, tells you you're beautiful, and then shuts the lights off so you can go to sleep? I swear, if Sony wanted to increase their sales, then PlayStation 6 should be PlayStation 6, and they should have a fleshlight hole attachment with VR goggles. It might sound funny to some of you, but most of you probably have that already. So, are we supposed to pretend like that wouldn't save humanity? How many men are upset because their balls are full and they get a little, upset because, they see other people, they're in relationships, they see attractive people, and, the attractive people don't want to fuck you. I get that because, I'm an attractive person and I don't want to fuck anybody. I mean, I'm on this app Sniffies, and you don't mind me sharing this, do you? Okay, okay. This is an 18 and over chat, so if you're, under 18, please don't even come into my channel because I say some really filthy things. But anyway, I was talking to this twink, and this twink wanted to call me daddy, wanted to just be taken, just railed, filled with managers. And then I was also talking to another guy who was like, "Yeah, I'll just piss on fucking twinks. I'll dominate them." And I was like, "You know what? I'm not feeling either of you because I don't want to be pissed on." And this twink is like, "Yes, and I'll obey you, and you'll be the only one." I'm like, "How many guys have you said that to before? Because look at you. You're still searching for the one with that kind of attitude. If you really had that kind of attitude, your ass would have been locked into a relationship by now. If you're just a hoe, then you're just a hoe." And I didn't have time for that. So what I did was I just said, "You know what? Why don't you two just go at it? You two. You, fuck." And so they did. The dominant guy tied up the little twink and just made him gape and filled him with jizz over and over and over and over till like at least 8 o'clock. Like the two were just going at it. And now the twink is in fucking love with this brutal top. And me, I was just like, see, this is why I'm not interested in dating or the games or any of it. I'm looking at this situation going, I'm not exactly Captain Fidelity, but there has to be a step up from just cum slut to boring house husband. There should be some leeway in between there. But like I said, I'm just not in the right place for a relationship. I'm not, interested in pursuing anything. Like I've got way too much else that's going on in life. I'm just too busy dealing with bullshit. Like honestly, I'm trying to get myself in shape because you never know if there might be cameras or films to be done. Not that I'm an actor, but for personal reasons, you know, whatever that means. And like this just like puts me off because to them it's, dude, you can't just keep going from city to city. You have to fucking get in the pipe. And it's just, I don't want an apartment. I'm not going to sign a year lease to be howdy neighbor. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. What I like is I'm here for a short period of time. I write some songs that maybe people listen to, some people even buy, and I move on. Like, I don't need to put down roots anywhere. Like, I really don't. Like, at my juncture in life, I'm just too disabled, I'm too hurt to really go through with it. Plus, there's the fact that I have PTSD and I hate being in towns where the women are like, I feel uncomfortable. I need to talk to you. And it's just like, oh, how is that my fucking problem? Like you are uncomfortable and you talk to the first brown face you can fucking speak to when you're a white woman. It's just what the fuck? It's like what do you expect from me? Like let Idris Elba, just Luther you with his smolder and charm. I've got none of that. I mean, look at my fucking hair. I mean, just can't even hold this thing. It's so slippery. Here, you slippery. But yeah, it's just my hair is just like this. And yet still women cannot resist opening their mouth to talk to me. And it's just like, what we're gonna talk about? Because I mean, are we gonna talk about how when no means no applies to a man telling that to a woman, suddenly that just falls under deaf ears. When it comes down to maybe don't talk to strangers, somehow that's a message that's just lost. Now, I know that this was like a really, really dicey situation because, look, I was trying to get into my room, and like I said, Casey from the Ninja Turtles with his motorcycle gear was floating around going like, I don't know where my room is. Wink, wink. And I'm trying to say, like, dude, like any other time we might hit and smash. Like, honestly, it's been a while. I'm horny. He looked like he smelled delicious. I don't know. I don't know. But I was just fucking pissed. I was fucking pissed. And of course, whoever the fucking hacker is who turned off the the entrance to my door was just like, no, no, no dick for you tonight. I'm like, come on, come on. What is the point of being a card carrying member of Cocksuckers No Longer Anonymous? Doesn't allow me to suck some dick on the occasion. I mean, I've got beautiful lips, big juicy lips. Let me suck on some penis, but I mean, clearly that's not going to happen anytime soon. Beautiful pupper. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And can you believe that white bitch down there just snapped at him, making him cry? Shame on you, girl. She's a brilliant girl. She's a brilliant girl. She loves him. But she's of the mindset that his barks are fucking annoying. And I'm like, well, so what? He's not entitled to bark at all. Sometimes he barks at other dogs. Sometimes he barks at people right outside my fucking door. I mean, I'd rather have my dog bark. I mean, it's annoying, I guess, but if he's trying to tell me something, he's trying to tell me something. And here this girl is, well, she meant well. She meant. I mean, when you don't exactly own the place, you can't exactly have your dogs barking every fucking time. Oh, don't go, Pate. Don't. Oh, come on. Come on. That is so potty. That is so. Wow. Wow. I'm literally dealing with it. She must be on a period. Like, you see, that's what I think it is. I think she's menstruating because she's just being really fucking bitchy today. That dog. Go on and pout. Unbelievable. Do you want security? Do you want security? Everybody who wants security wanted security, but you need security because you're afraid of things. You're afraid of people. You're not one of them. I will never be a regular person, clearly. I'm a musician, I'm a veteran, I'm a mutant. So, yeah. That's what the world is coming to. But who walks a baby at fucking 5:30 in the fucking morning? That's the thing that like really fucking freaked me out. I was like, yeah, I guess I do need security in this instance. Like two women by themselves with a baby carriage at 5:30 in the morning. Suspicious. That's all. That's all. As far as that goes, I wouldn't have even been out there at that time if my fucking door was functioning. But what am I gonna do? I'm just a person who is going to be constantly dealing with, I don't know, drama. Just drama. I don't understand why. I mean, it's not like every day you see magic happening all around me. I mean, if you did, that would be just weird, wouldn't it? If every day there was magic. Oh, and it's always on camera, but it's not in a major studio, so there's that. Oh well. What to do? What to do? What to do? Oh, right. Thank you for reminding me, Portland with your trucks, US food. So I'm in always a heated debate with people over what an ideal society looks like. Some people say, oh, it's, mixed gender, it is freedom, it's drugs, it's a lot of things. Me personally, I say it is scholarship and understanding first, moving toward mixing between the genders later. Why? Because men are hardwired and conditioned for sex. It's not a bad thing. It's bad when you don't have the temperament for enlightenment. You don't have the temperament for respect. It's very hard to start something new. Me personally, I'm trying to start a brand new town. Why? Because I look at everything that's going on. I look at the entire country being taken over by these ICE protests. And of course, you should protest. You always have the right to protest. But then it's just becoming a movement of people outdoors and fighting with some authority figures, and innocent people get caught in that all the time. So it just makes more sense to just say, yeah, that is a problem. But you know what would be the solution? You have a town where you say, we mind our own borders because we have our own borders and we understand that these are our borders. Does that make sense to you? Does it make sense to anyone to say, do you understand that when you're a citizen, you have a say? When you're an immigrant, you don't really have a say specifically, but you can always appeal to the United Nations if you feel like it's a global issue. You always have that right. But you do have the right to say, hey, I have an opinion on border control. I have an opinion on it, whether or not it's for it or against it, but you're still allowed to voice it. You're still allowed to say, okay, well, in this town, I say that border control is closed. And you could say in another town, well, border control is open here. People don't understand it's if you believe in something that strongly, you need to live where that is. If you want to smoke weed, you move to the West Coast. People figure that out, and that's why it's not nationally legalized because it's a way to, I guess, redistrict certain areas by saying, look, if you're for drugs, you might as well just be on the West Coast and let the West Coast, manipulate you into voting for whatever the fuck they want to vote for there. It's like it's a win-win situation. If you're against it, guess what? There's the East and the middle. But you have a say. You have rights. Why is there never any conversation about, okay, well, city by city, state by state, you need to fucking just come to a decision. And if you can't come to a decision, then you need to talk about why you can't come to a decision. Because the idea of just holding up picket signs and chanting is not good enough when you're getting fucking tear gas. Some people say the tear gas is a badge of honor. I'm like, are you prepared to be tear gas? Because tear gas is not something you really want to fuck with. Personally, I don't like the whole Gestapo thing of there your papers. There. Bitter. But either way, it's your country. What do you want from this country? What do you want? Because if you want freedom and relaxing of tight borders, then you need to put that into law. You need to come up with a plan because, as I said last time, you get criminals that sneak over here, you get diseases over here. And sometimes you just get regular people who work really hard. Sometimes you get experts, experts in their field, fields of medicine, fields of science. And sometimes they can come here legally, sometimes they can't. Why in the world are my dogs? I swear they get blasted by some fucking sonic ray or something. Causes my dog to fucking lose balance. Either way, I'm trying to talk about the idea of immigration. The idea that maybe, just maybe, there is a better way to do it. Maybe you start vetting people. Maybe you do have border control, but you do it with honor and respect. If the ICE agents just asked for identification and then said, okay, well, you don't have identification, here's a lawyer and plead your fucking case. Tell us why you're fucking here. That should be understandable because actually gets you citizenship. If you just kept your mouth shut and said, well, I left, then, then, then why should we give you citizenship? We don't care that you started a family here. We don't care. We want to know why you couldn't do that work where you came from. Because if there is an issue there, you need to talk about it. You might feel better if you did. And yes, sometimes that means that you just have to go all the way back there. But sometimes it means you might be able to stay. You might even become a citizen with the rights. You might have your kids become citizens with the rights. You might meet someone after becoming a citizen to have kids who will now have rights here. It's a win-win situation to just start talking. But nobody wants to talk. Everyone's hurt right now, and I understand that. I do. But maybe we can be level-headed about this and say, if we talked about this before this stuff happens, then people would still be alive. If we talked about this before the bad stuff happened, maybe we wouldn't need to tear grass grandma and some old men with hippie scarves around their fucking head. I don't even fucking know, but like honestly, it's just tease the fucking elderly day thanks to this ICE protests. So I want to get involved in it, but I really don't want it to just be, well, I showed up, hand me my fucking picket sign. What's the chant of the day? I need people to grow. I need Americans to realize that as much as you are fighting the system, you still have a system. There are some nations that say, okay, you disagree, everybody has to go. Your family has to go, everybody has to go. And they're cutthroat like that. And America does that shit too. America doesn't say it out loud, but they always do. So let's not pretend like America isn't a fucking thug country. Look at what I have to deal with of manufactured PTSD triggers. You don't think they're above hurting or just wiping out entire families because they disagree? That's the country you live in. So you might as well know that and fight, but fight properly. End these fucking protests and come to a table. You You're trying to use the protest to bargain for something more or convince your politicians to do more. It's no, that has always been your job. If you want to change border policy, that's something you have to decide. And if you decide it within your village, well, okay, you decided it within your village. If you decided in the city, then you decided for the city. But if you want it statewide, you gotta open up your mouth. You gotta fucking talk to people and say, hey, I need you to come sign this emergency ballot and put it on a ballot and say, look, we need to have an emergency session in order to count up these votes because we need clear codification of popular opinion because popular opinion is not uniform and it doesn't have to be. You would like that. You would like that. But the good thing about living in the United States of America is that it's states of America. It's not just one country. Every state is, in a way, its own little fiefdom. And you decide what goes on there. Who are the people there? You say now, oh my God, these ICE agents, they're terrible people. Do you have access to their reports? Because I think the ICE agency should be doing some declassification of documents so that the American people can say, what the fuck have you been doing for all these years? Because now we have a problem with you, but what were you doing that we didn't have a problem with you that we could go about our lives? Justify your agency. Same thing with NASA. I'm a scientist. If NASA isn't doing enough to advance science in this country, I say you should defund and just disband it. Why? Because Americans are not learning that this biome that we live in is not habitable. You think you're breathing air, you're just breathing smoke, you're breathing smog. You don't know what clean air is until you've had it. And once you've had it, you're not going to go back. I left California. I can breathe. I can breathe again. Is it as good as it could be? No, it isn't. And that upsets me too. So, what are we going to do? Are we just going to bitch and moan about it for the news, or are we actually going to take action? But the right action. You get the people involved and you decide, what do you want? Follow due process of the law. The same due process of the law that if you had done this ahead of time, you wouldn't have had an issue. All these people who are showing up now are fairly well supporters of immigration. Because if they really cared, then they would have had it codified into law before people were dying. And even so, I still want more facts because this goes beyond pointing the finger at ICE. It goes to you use government funds to pay these people to be your employees, and they are not doing their job to our satisfaction, to our sense of honor and dignity. Why should we give them more money? These are the things that I wish these protesters would bring up. W- you want to protest ICE, fine, but it goes to the heart of our centralized government. Follow the money more than just follow the blame. Now I'm gonna take as much time as I fucking need to just work on my fucking body and get my health back after being harassed and placed in these situations where women who aren't famous are ogling me, bothering me. Like, I don't understand why they would. I mean, I'm nothing to look at. I mean, I sound fucking hideous. I mean, come on. Mama Cat's playing big eyes. Yarn. My name is Ian Iliona. I am an environmentalist, a mutant, a werewolf, veteran with PTSD, superhero and champion of the people. Before this disgusting fucking incident of being locked out my room and being goggled by women, I had a thought. I'm going to leave this with my fans and those who join who may not be fans but love to stare at my man titties. I had a thought. They're so full today. I had a thought that maybe I would speak to City Hall, speak to some local volunteer agencies about having a public health event. Yes, to discuss how we survived COVID, but also to say your health as a community is important. When you leave other people to suffer from poverty and malnutrition, you put yourself at risk because if they become infected, they're less resilient. And that gives a virus more time to overcome whatever immunity they may have or may not have. So when it comes to you, it fights you that much harder. And you may not have the resiliency of that to defend yourself. So, yes, community health. So, I wanted to do that. I wanted to take the time while I'm here, while I'm working on growing my giant man titties and possibly some abs and maybe just conditioning my hair because it's dry as fuck. I thought, why don't I just have a public health event where you discuss a couple things and maybe you have a meal? But how am I supposed to do that when I have PTSD triggers that just say, no, I'm still not ready to do group volunteer projects. This is what upsets me. That's who I am. I'm a person who loves a life of service, loves a life of defending and uplifting the people around me. Yes, I'm a snobby fucking bitch. I admit it. But I also want to entitle other people to do the same. Like, respect yourself. I mean, half the shit you fucking eat is literal shit, filled with toxins that just destroy and corrode your body. But if you just had an opportunity to have maybe one good meal, maybe get one good recipe and say, I'll try that at home, your health might return. Your health. And your health matters to me because I may not be able to talk to you as a neighbor because I have PTSD and that's just too much effort. But I want you to be healthy. I want you to be healthy. And yeah, I guess it is selfish. But if you're healthy, then I'll be healthy too. I hope to see you on the next podcast.